Welcome, fellow night owls, to a realm where the eerie and the inexplicable converge. I'm your host Don Choco, and tonight, we embark on a digital journey into the chilling tales of Reddit's darkest corners. Prepare to be captivated by stories that defy explanation, where everyday Redditors share their encounters with the supernatural, the bizarre, and the downright terrifying. A Midnight Stroll. One night, unable to sleep, I mindlessly scrolled through TikTok, hoping to find something that would distract me from my restlessness. Among the countless TikTok live streams, one particular stream caught my attention. The title simply read, "A Midnight Stroll." Intrigued, I tapped on it, unknowingly opening the door to a world of horror. The stream depicted a man silently traversing through a desolate forest. The eerie atmosphere was suffocating, with darkness seemingly swallowing the lone figure. To my utter shock, as the live stream continued, the man's path led him to a familiar place, my backyard. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was my house. How could this be possible? Fear gripped my heart, and I immediately dialed the emergency services, desperately hoping they could provide some answers. The police arrived swiftly, but to my dismay, they found nothing out of the ordinary in the woods. Without any concrete evidence or immediate danger, they dismissed my claims. I figured that this account would probably go live again, and when it does, I'll screen record and get some proof. It took some time, but eventually, the live stream resumed. Unfortunately for me this time, however, it did not reveal my house. Just hours of this man walking through the woods at night. Why are people even watching this? I thought to myself, the live stream that night was a bust. This man didn't do anything out of the ordinary besides, being a weirdo walking through the woods at night. I anxiously waited for the live stream to return. After 2 days, the account finally went live again, and this time, I was prepared. I started to screen record, determined to capture the proof I so desperately needed. The stream unfolded just as before. The mysterious man paced through the dark woods, his footsteps crunching unsuspecting leaves. The sound of crickets could be distinctly heard. The man emerged from the depths of the forest, his gaze fixed on my house. But this time, something was different. He started moving towards my house, step by step, drawing closer to me. The fear that had gripped me earlier escalated to sheer terror. I knew I had to take action. My fight or flight response activated, and I descended the stairs from my room, making my way to the kitchen window, never taking my eyes off the live stream. I peered into the darkness, searching for any signs of the man approaching my house. But to my horror, I saw nothing. I looked back down at my phone and then back up to the window, and back down at my phone again. The man was continuing to walk towards my house in the live stream, but I didn't see him in real time. The realization struck me like a lightning bolt. The live stream had a delay. It had to have a stream delay. I watched him approach my back door on my phone. My mind raced as I frantically looked to the left and noticed my back door was ever so slightly cracked open. Part 2. Usually, it's safe to assume that something has happened to someone when they haven't posted an update in over half a month. You would think they are dead by now. However, this time, you would be wrong. I found out I had a stalker through a TikTok live stream, and he managed to enter my house. Fortunately, I escaped through the back door. Here's what unfolded after that terrifying incident. I felt a chill crawl up my spine, my heart pounding against my chest. The realization that he was already inside hit me like a ton of bricks. He must have picked the lock. Without a second thought, I dashed towards the back door, propelled by a primal instinct to escape. Once I was outside and at a safe distance from my house, I hastily dialed the emergency hotline, recounting the chilling events and pleading for immediate help. However, the response I received was far from reassuring. The operator seemed indifferent, having been through this ordeal before. They seemed skeptical and reluctant to act solely based on a screen recording of a TikTok live. And my back door being open, their dismissive tone left me feeling helpless and abandoned when I hung up the phone. As I looked towards my house, I saw the shadow of someone walking through my kitchen towards my back door, confirming my worst fears. Realizing that I couldn't rely on the authorities, I made a split-second decision. I had to take matters into my own hands. The adrenaline coursing through my veins numbed the pain of the branches scratching at my skin as I sprinted into the darkness of the forest. Every fiber of my being focused on one thing: survival. The sound of my own labored breath filled my ears, matching the rhythm of my pounding footsteps. Branches whipped against my skin, leaving angry red marks in their wake. Fear propelled me forward, zigzagging through the maze of trees. Every rustle, every crack of a twig sent shivers down my spine, fueling me to run faster. The darkness swallowed me whole, with the moonlight only offering glimpses of the treacherous terrain ahead. But I couldn't afford to stumble or hesitate. I had to keep moving, to outrun the clutches of my relentless pursuer. As I raced deeper into the woods, the sense of isolation intensified. There was no one to hear my cries, no one to come to my aid. The forest seemed to stretch on endlessly, an unyielding labyrinth designed to ensnare its prey. Yet, I pushed myself to the limits, driven by sheer willpower and the desperate hope of eluding my stalker. The forest floor gave way to a steep incline, and my tired legs strained to maintain their pace. I stumbled, my body crashing to the ground, pain shooting through every limb. But I couldn't afford to stay down. I had to keep going. Blood trickled from my grazed knees and palms, marking my path with crimson. I fought through the pain, the fear gripping me tighter with each passing second. With every ounce of energy left in me, I surged forward, my determination overriding the fatigue that threatened to consume me. After what felt like an eternity, my lungs burning for air, I collapsed beneath a tree, believing I had finally reached a safe distance. Silence enveloped the surroundings, and I took a moment to catch my breath. My curiosity got the better of me. I peered at my phone, and the live stream showed the man emerging from my house, a full 10 minutes behind real time. The comments accompanying the live stream were filled with disturbing messages, with people urging the man to harm me, flooding the chat with knife emojis, and even sending virtual gifts encouraging him to kill me. These viewers were sick in the head, reveling in my suffering, finding entertainment in my torment. A snap of a twig shattered the silence, jolting me back to the present moment. The stalker was near. Instinctively, I rose to my feet, my gaze fixated on the approaching figure. In his hand, a phone with the flash on, capturing his every move for the live stream. Panic surged through my veins, propelling me into motion once again. But fate had other plans. As I tripped over a tree root and tumbled down a treacherous hill, my head colliding with unforgiving rocks. In that disorienting moment, I noticed my phone had been flung from my grasp, landing on the rocks and then falling into the shallow water of the brook. I struggled to focus, blinking rapidly as my vision cleared. And there he was, the stalker, looming over my phone, with the TikTok live stream still running. When he bent down to reach for my phone, I realized I had an opportunity that I probably wouldn't get again. So I stood up, my head throbbing, and picked up a sizable rock nearby. Without hesitation, I swung it with all my might, striking the stalker squarely in the back of his head. He tumbled forward, falling face first into the brook, his body motionless. My hands trembled as I dropped the blood-stained rock, my mind struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what I had just done. But I had to. It was him or me, life or death, and I chose life. To my surprise, the stalker's phone had miraculously landed on a rock and remained out of the water. It was still live on TikTok. I picked up the phone and pointed it at the motionless figure floating in the brook, exposing what I had done to the viewers. The comments section exploded with W's, devil emojis, and demands for more. An unsettling realization dawned on me. I had become the new live stream host. The viewers craved violence, thrived on fear, and I had inadvertently become their new twisted entertainer by giving that to them. They loved me, and I loved the attention. I know it's been a while since I last updated you all, but I've been adjusting to my newfound position. If you're ever scrolling through TikTok late at night and come across a live stream of a man walking through the woods, I hope you'll join me. We'll be selecting a new target very soon. Who knows, it could even be you. That's not my boyfriend. My boyfriend works late hours, and when I know he's on his way to my house, I'll sit and wait for him in the kitchen to greet him. The main door is in front of me while the back porch one is behind me. He tends to come through that one so my dog doesn't bark. He called me a few minutes ago and said he just left work and he's on his way. So I did my normal and sat at the kitchen table scrolling on my phone until I got the "I'm outside" text. After a few minutes of scrolling, I heard his voice. The only light outside of my house was the porch light, so I look out of the kitchen window and nobody's there.
Baby, come outside.
Normally his voice is reassuring and welcoming, but I had a terrible feeling and decided to call his cell phone. His phone is a track phone that he buys service for, so sometimes it simply rings twice, which is what it did every time I called. Eventually I gave up and stepped into the back porch to look outside. Maybe his phone died and he needed me to unlock the door for him. I could feel my heart drop when I remembered the door was unlocked. I start to text him asking him to answer his phone, but while I'm doing this the voice turns from a gentle tone to an angry one. It yelled my full name and told me to come outside. My boyfriend never calls me by my full name, and at this point I'm starting to feel scared. I looked outside and it now knows that I'm not in the kitchen and that I looked out of the back porch window. I call him again. After what felt like hours he answered in a concerned way, apologizing because his phone was on vibrate as well as it not working. "Why are you telling me to come outside?" Those were the first words I said. There was an immediate silence over the line. "What do you mean? I'm just now on your road." He sounded worried, but I could tell he thought I was pranking him. The voice was getting angrier by the second. It cussed at me and eventually started banging on the door. It was so loud that even my boyfriend could hear it through the phone. I heard the car speed up, then the sound of gravel from him pulling into my driveway. I finally mustered up the courage to move the curtain and see if there was really anyone there. There was nothing there, but I could see him running up the stairs to get to me. Once he got in the voice and the banging came to a complete stop. I stood shaken while he looked around my yard only to see a deer running away on its hind legs, just for the front two to hit the ground in front of it as it went into the nearby woods. We didn't sleep much that night, and eventually we plan on moving somewhere that's closer to the city as my house is out of the way from any other people. Don't miss out on more spine-tingling stories like Mangled.avi and other chilling Reddit horrors. Subscribe to our channel now and join our growing community of fearless explorers of the unknown. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an eerie tale. Together, we'll continue to unravel the mysteries that lurk in the darkest corners of the internet. Stay curious, stay terrified, and stay subscribed.